Okay, so starting off with our new project, in this project we will add the Firebase authentication in Flutter. So to do that, I've created a new project, a new Flutter project, and I've removed the boiler code, and for now it just shows a text that is hi developer, and I'm gonna make a directory to store my screens. Okay, and in this way I think it's a better way to organize all our code, and I'll just make a sign up screen over here. Screen. Okay, and I'll import the material package, and I'll create a stateful widget for now that is sign up screen. Okay, so I just copy it and paste it over here, and I'll have to import it. Okay, so I just made a new screen. There's nothing for now. We will add things over here, but let's go. So first of all, to do that, we are going to need a Firebase console, okay, and a project that is made on Firebase. Okay, so previously there was a different way of adding the Firebase to our Flutter app. To do that, we would have to add the iOS integration and the Android integration separately. Okay, but now we have an advanced technique, that is we can just click on the Flutter. Okay, and keep in mind we're gonna need the Firebase CLI for this. Okay, and I have already activated that, so I don't need to. And if you want to, you can just read the documentation. It's so simple. Okay, so the next thing I have to do is activate the Firebase CLI. Okay, so I just go to the command prompt and put it over here. Okay, so this will run it. Okay, so the Firebase CLI is working fine. Okay, it's activated, so my work is done over here, and now I'll have to go to the project directory. Okay, where my project is running. Okay, so my project is in YouTube Flutter Authentication. Okay, so I'll run this command from here. Okay, and what said was, okay, found 0 Firebase project, select Firebase authentication. Okay, so it's saying that an error occurred on the Firebase CLI while attempting to run a command Firebase version. The Firebase. Okay, so starting off with the command, I'll just copy my command from. Okay, wait a sec. I'll just copy this command, and first of all, yeah, I'll have to run this command. Again, I have done some changes, and I will have to do this again. I'll have to activate it, so just wait for it to activate. Meanwhile, I'll show you we need some dependencies. Okay, so we need some dependencies because we will have to connect the Firebase with a Flutter, so we need these two packages, these two plugins. And from where you will get this, I'll just show you. Okay, so these are the two plugins we will need. The first one is Firebase Core, and the second one is Firebase Auth. Okay, so as you can see, I have added these two, and I'll just click pubget, to just make sure that everything is working fine. And it's taking so long. I don't know why it is taking so long. Okay, so it has activated my Firebase CLI, and I'll just exit it and go to this. Okay, so wait a sec, I'll have to run this command from the command prompt. The PowerShell, it doesn't allow me, and I think that command prompt is working fine, so I just run this command. So we will have to wait for this it will get the project from our Firebase console and then activate it by itself. Okay, so when it is activated, in the Android folder, okay, so in the Android folder it will create a JSON file, Google services.json file. So let's just wait for it. I'll come back when it's done. So here it is. It's asking me for what platforms I want to configure my project. So the Android is selected, Android and iOS is selected, and yeah, it's cool. So I'll just press enter, and the iOS and Android, these two are selected, and it's configuring them for connecting. Okay, so just wait for it, and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so I just ran my app. Okay, and basically the point of making this video was to tell how exactly do we implement Firebase authentication in Flutter. So I thought that, you know, the UI is not such a big thing, and I just copied the UI from another project of mine. And so yeah, first of all I will implement the sign up button. Okay, and the next thing I will do is, first of all I will check that from the controller, the email controller and the password controller, do they have any value? If they contain any value, then we will start from then we will do the next thing. If not, we won't do anything, and we will just tell the user that there is nothing to do with it, or hasn't provided any value, so we can't do anything. Okay, so first of all I'll do this, and let's just print it in the console that email or password is not entered. Okay, so the next thing we will do is that we will create another directory, and that directory will specifically create take all the things, the controllers, like the auth controllers or auth methods basically. So I'll just create that, and I'll do this auth methods, or let's forget this, I'll just make another dart file, auth methods. We can do this thing in the same file, but I think that code should be organized, and it's easy to access. Okay, so I just made this, and the next thing I'll do is I'll import the Firebase auth. Firebase auth is equals to Firebase auth dot instance. Okay, so I have done this, and to make sure that everything works fine, and we will have to initialize the main with with our project. It means that it will firstly connect with our Firebase console, or the project that we have made. Okay, so to connect it, we will first ensure that the widgets are fully loaded, and we will use widget flutter binding dot ensure initialize. And then we will do is Firebase dot initialize app, Firebase dot initialize app, and this will take some options. We will give some options in it, and let's import this. Okay, so it's imported, and now I'll have to give some options. Okay, so what is the error? Okay, so the default Firebase options dot current platform, that is what I will provide over here. Default Firebase options dot current platform. Okay, so it's giving me an error, and let's check what is the error. Okay, so over here it's asking me something. It's saying that the current platform default Firebase options dot current platform. I know it should work right now, but okay, so my mistake, I had to do this. Okay, so then we will run our app. Okay, so this is the thing that we will have to do to ensure that our Flutter app is connected to the Firebase console. Okay, so the next thing we will do is that we will make, and we will use the Firebase auth. Okay, so I'll just make sign up user, and this method will take string email and string pass. Okay, so as we have checked already that the email and password should not be empty, so we won't do anything over here. We know that if this function is ran, it means that the email and passwords are not empty. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is that I'll use it Firebase auth dot create user with email and password. Okay, so this is the email and this is the pass. Okay, so we will have to await this, as this is an asynchronous process, and we will use sync over here. And yeah, we can do one more thing. We can get the credentials of the user from this thing. Okay, so what we're gonna do is that we need user credential is equals to await. Okay, and let's just print it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is that I will print the information. Okay, so we will use credential dot user dot email. Okay, so the user can be null, so just use this, and same with the password. Okay, if we don't get the password. Okay, so I think that's enough. We will know that the user is created or not. Okay, so I'll just copy this and we will use it over here. We will call it over here, and we will call it as email controller dot text and password controller dot text. Okay, so this is done. I'll just call it the call this function. Okay, so this is done, and yeah, it's fine. So I'll just rerun my app and see over here. Okay, so first of all, I will check that if it is pointing out that I have not entered the email or password. Okay, so just sign up. I just clicked on the sign up, and yeah, I can see that it prints in the console that email or password not entered. So yeah, it's working. And so now I will just use a random email, and let's do this with 123 at the rate gmail.com. It's causing some issues because I'm working with it from the computer. So I'll just give out the random password 123456789. Okay, so 123@gmail.com. I know Google doesn't accept an email like this, so what I will have to do is that I will just do error. Okay, so I just click on sign up. Okay, and what is it that okay, so what's the mistake over here is that we'll go to the console. If you just remember, we didn't add any authentication allowed. We didn't added any authentication from the Firebase console, so I'm just going to do that. And when it's done, I will just tell it that email and password I want to add sign in from email and password. And yeah, I'll do this again. And as the issue was in our Firebase console and not in our app, I'll just press the sign up button again and see what it does. Okay, so it just printed error 123@gmail.com, and we should see that we have a user over here that is signed up with this email where we just entered. Okay, so this is for today. That we have learned how to add a simple authentication in our Flutter app. And the next thing we will do is that we will add Google authentication in our Flutter app. So stay connected. Thanks.